Rolling out a CSG in your classroom includes 10 steps. Step 1. Student pre-work. For homework the night before the CSG tutorial, students write 2 questions from their classwork, text, or homework. Note, these questions should require higher level processing and should not be first level questions. Students should check in their student planner for the CASAS leveled questions, level 1, 2, and 3. Step 2. At the door, the teacher, tutor, or peer tutor should collect student pre-work as they enter the classroom. This is also an ideal time for the teacher to take attendance at the door with a Chromebook. Step 3. Table groups. The teacher, tutor, or peer tutor should form CSG tutorial groups based on the content of student questions. These groups should have 4 to 7 students in them. The seating configuration should be set up to facilitate group communication while facing the board on which the student presenter illustrates the problem. Step 4. Strategic seating. The teacher, tutor, or peer tutor should be positioned with the seated members of the group and should facilitate the process of selecting a student presenter. Step 5. Student presenter. The student presenter should write his or her question on the board and explain to the seated members of the group the difficulty he or she is having. The student presenter should expect the seated members of the group to ask questions that clarify their own understanding of the question problem, ask questions that check for understanding of the group, and ask questions that probe deeper into possible approaches to solving the problem. When the student presenter understands the problem with greater clarity, he or she should then communicate this understanding to the group. Step 6. Seated students at the table. The seated members of the group are responsible for helping the presenter think about the problem by asking questions. They are not responsible for finding the solution or necessarily leading the presenter to a solution. They should, however, ask questions to clarify their understanding and ask questions to push the thinking of the presenter. Step 7. Teacher-tutor role. The teacher, tutor, or peer tutor should facilitate the inquiry aspect of this tutorial process by guiding the seated members of the group with questions and modeling questions that they might ask the student presenter. The teacher, tutor, or peer tutor should remind the seated members of the group to focus on the presenter's thinking, not the solution to the problem. Step 8. Active note-taking. The teacher, tutor, or peer tutor should remind the seated members of the group to take Cornell focus notes on all the questions presented. Step 9. Teacher, tutor takes notes. The teacher, tutor in the group should be taking notes for the student presenter. Step 10. End of session. Near the end of the CSG tutorial session, all members of the group should write a summary and reflection of their learning. You may share these short writings with the members of your group if time permits. Here's a quick review of the CSG process in 10 simple steps. Pre-work, at the door, table groups, strategic seating, student presenter, roles for seated students at the table, teacher, tutor role, active note-taking, teacher, tutor takes notes for a presenter, end of CSG lesson. Remember, the collaborative process provides students an opportunity for them to discover new ideas and take ownership of their learning because they are actively involved.